Hey everybody, Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. We're going to do the ACT3 update 45. We'll see what I've been up to. Let's take a look. Okay, before we get started tonight, I'd like to do a little shout out, and I promised him I would do this because I thought this was very nice. And all of you were nice, but this is exceptionally nice. I got a box in the mail the other day. Robin opened it up. She said, "Did you order a puzzle?" I said, "No." I couldn't figure out what was going on. I opened the box, and it was from a gentleman by the name of Dave Hemingway. And Dave happens to own, I believe it's pronounced Dowdle Puzzles, or Dowdle, it's called Dowdle Fork Art. Dowdle, D-O-W-D-L-E, Folk Art. If you get a chance, look him up. His website is dowdlefolkart.com. That shouldn't be that hard, and I'll show you how the name is and everything. But anyway, to get on with it here, it says, "Mike, you are probably wondering why you're receiving a train puzzle from someone you don't know. Well, it is a thank you gift for you and Robin and Gavin to enjoy. I have been watching your videos and appreciate your time, knowledge, and dedication that you were willing to share with us wannabes and wanted to do something nice for someone who is nice." And I appreciate that, Dave, and all of you. I am an N-scaler. I use Unitrack, have over 65 Cato locomotives, and work on my layout as therapy when I am not running a puzzle company, playing with my 9-year-old grandkids, or doing honeydews. And we all know how that can be. Hope you enjoy the Golden Spike 150th Anniversary Edition puzzle. Dave Hemingway, Chief Operating Officer of Dowdle Puzzles. And they are located in Linden, Utah, by the way. And he sent me an email and he asked me if we were going to be at the NMRA convention, because apparently he will be because he's in Utah. So if you get there to the NMRA convention, look him up. I'm pretty sure he'll be somewhere there. I don't know if he'll be selling anything or what. I think he was just planning on meeting us there. But nevertheless, good man. I'll show you the puzzle here real quickly. This is it. I think you can get all of that on there. It's a painting by Eric Dowdle, artist. And it's just a great looking painting. It's a 500-piece puzzle. This is the approximate size of each piece. It's bagged inside. I haven't opened the bag yet. It comes in a real nice box. You open this up, and if I can, you slide the sleeve off here, and it has a real nice, and I'm assuming that most of his puzzle boxes are built like this. Then it's got a real nice Velcro closure, and the puzzle's all bagged. There's also an information sheet on here on the painting of the picture. Just really cool. I don't know when we'll do this, but probably when the kids get out of school, we might set it up on the dining table and see if we can get this put together. But I told Dave I would give him a shout out here. He deserves it, and Dave, thank you. And I hope people go check out his website, and I'll list it down below. You all take care. Here we go. Okay, everybody, here we are again. I know this all looks the same, but what I did is I got a little bit of foliage glued down in here. I also put in some spackling along the edge of the bridge where it looked all ugly there, and have touched that up. Touched up the screws where I took the screws out. Touched up the fascia. Did a little bit of black washing in a few places around. And I am not finished against the wall back here, but I did put a bunch of bushes and stuff along the wall, which also leads us down here. And unfortunately I just put my arm over the crossing gate, so you'll hear that in the background, which takes us to here. I now have the completed Schmelly Meats in. Let me back these cars up here real quick. And you can see that I have the lights in the building. I have a light pole working out here. I have cattle in the pen. I have cars on the road in the back. And I have added a smokestack. Because my assumption is that they will burn off some of the rendering products. This is in a day and age of non-EPA. But I would guess that they would have things they would have to get rid of, and we're going to claim that they burn them. We have some small tanks out here. Not sure what that would be used for, but I thought they looked good there. It might be cleaning products that are pumped into the building. Various things. Got a pickup over there. You got to have a couple of pickups if you're going to have a stockyard. Pickup coming in, pickup sitting there. Looks like they may have taken some hay out of there and thrown it in for the cattle until such time they are taking up the ramp and made into hamburgers. What else have I done? I have gotten, and you can barely see them in here, I've gotten my posts along the road with my cable to keep the cars from crashing off the edge. If I come down here, you can see them a little better along here. I have yet to touch up the road or clean the river or get these abandoned houses permanently mounted. I'm thinking about cutting a little road in starting about here that goes up and into where those 3 houses would have been. May even cut back into the hill a little bit for a couple of them. Not sure. And on top of that, I got the road signs in. Curvy Road. I believe that's a 35-mile-an-hour sign. You come up here. We have another curvy road sign and another 35-mile-an-hour sign. The only thing I haven't done here is I haven't gotten my ballast up to the road crossing yet. I've got my railroad, of course I had that in last time, the railroad crossing sign. If you look across over there, I have a railroad crossing sign in there. If I go down here and we look down the road, you'll see a 40-mile-an-hour sign down there, and you'll see the back of another 40-mile-an-hour sign there. So, another thing that had to take place when I put the Schmelly Meats in down there was ballasting the track, painting the road, putting in foliage along there, putting lights in the building. It took me a while. You can hear the crossing bell going off again, but the locomotive is way beyond the crossing, the first crossing light sensor. I think I mentioned in the last video that I had trouble with that. I have not had a chance to troubleshoot that. And really, as far as the layout goes, hang on one second, let me get back over here. Like I say, I had to put in, or I had to color. If you remember, there was white plaster there, and there was white plaster over in here. So I had to blend that color in. I had to put some foliage on there, and you can see that that blends in pretty well. I blackened the faces of this cut that goes down to the lower level, or the switching area, I guess you would call it. You will also notice that I changed my 2 GP30s out for a couple of FTs. Still running the cleaning car, which I run one in there almost all the time. I also, if you notice, put foliage. I ran a bead of white glue along the back between the backdrop and the road, and put foliage in there, and then pushed it in with my finger, and then came back and vacuumed off the excess, and that worked real well to get a blend between the base and the backdrop. Really, I guess for now, other than, like I say, touching up the fascia around, I'll show you the one other thing that's new. Okay, the other thing that's new is I have now got the Evolution wired set and an additional 500 throttle, DT 500 throttle. So we'll take a look at that real quick and I'll explain to you what I did and why I'm doing it. Okay, under here is the new DCS 210. I kind of like it because it has, first of all, one thing it has is 3 outlets for LocoNet, so if I ever need to plug anything else LocoNet in there, I can. What I also like about it is it holds, I don't remember how many it holds, I'm sure I could look it up real fast, but it holds many more locomotive numbers than the original Empire builder that I had, and I got tired of clearing the box all the time. And I was starting to have some issues with a couple of the throttles not wanting to do what I want them to do. So basically I'm going to just clear all the memory out of the Empire builder, and I'll be getting rid of that soon. It's a radio version. It'll have two plug-in throttles and 1 radio throttle with it. It's a 5 amp power supply, but nevertheless, I changed it out just because I thought it would be better if I use a newer system, in case people start to ask me questions about it, which I haven't had a lot yet, and not that I know a lot about it, but at least I'll be using it. So, consequently, I have a new DT 500 here. Same panels I had before. My green light is obviously on, the train is running. And if we come around here, you've probably already seen it. Another DT 500. And since I'm not using wireless, it's kind of doesn't matter that it has a power button on the wireless ones now. And even I think even if you put a battery in here, you can push this power button and it cuts the battery off. And then you push it and hold it again, the battery comes on. At least that's the way I understand it. I don't know if I'm going to invest in a DT500D for out at the club. So I'll keep one of my 400s as it is right now and possibly get myself a 500 and then let Gavin have the 400 or the 402. But anyway, that's really about the only reason that I did it. I just wanted something a little more fresh, something with a little more capacity so that I don't have to mess with it all the time. By the way, I have been messing with the sound unit. What you're hearing right now is a first generation diesel which I connected to this 155 FT setup here. And let me play the horn on that one for you. I'm sorry, that's not it. Let me get back on my throttle. Okay, here's the horn for the FT. Kind of like it. And if I switch back to the 2700, which is the GP30s down there, you can hear the horn for the GP30s. Now back to the FT. You can definitely hear the difference in the horns. And the horn moves with whatever locomotive you're running. You can also see that I'm not very neat. Of course, we see that every time I show this. And I keep telling myself I'm going to get all this junk off of here. In fact, if you look over here, where my dopey tripod is in the way again, I rearranged this cart so I could get more stuff on it, and I have all the paints and things that I'm currently using on it. I was hoping to get a lot more stuff on it. But I haven't done that yet. Aside from that, let me show you my latest acquisitions, I suppose. Okay, three late acquisitions recently is that Pinto Funny Car by Johan. They're getting very scarce. The 69 AMX, because I worked for AMC, as you know, when they sold those. And that kit is getting rare. And a 66 Mustang hardtop. Now you may ask yourself, why would one do that? I would do that because my dad bought one of those brand new, and it was silver with a black vinyl top, and that's, if I ever build that kit, that's the way I intend to build it. Aside from that, that's about it. One exception being that Studebaker dragster in 1/43 diecast. So that's it, gang. Okay, everybody. Hope you enjoyed Update 45. And as usual, thanks for watching.